Hey, you guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the cold, hard truth, the dirty gut. So, stick around. Welcome back, you guys. Thanks so much for coming back and joining me for another video. As you guys can tell by the title, we're going to be talking today about my 40-day bone broth cleanse. Yes, I know, 40 days. Today is actually day 22, so I'm a little bit more than halfway, and I am so excited about that. All day long Monday, I kept telling my kids, have I told you yet that I'm halfway? Have I told you that I'm halfway? Because you guys have no idea how happy I was to hit that halfway mark, because in case you didn't know, 40 days is a long time to go with no food. That's right. No food for 40 days. But I've had a lot of questions coming in. We do have our health group over on Facebook, and I've had a lot of questions that have come in to me wanting to know exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing this cleanse, why I'm doing the cleanse, and all of that stuff. So I thought it would just be easier if I sat down and did a video, showed you guys the products that I'm using. Let me go ahead and start off by saying this is in no way any medical advice. I am not giving you any type of encouragement or okay or telling you to do what I'm doing, because it is very extreme and it is very drastic. You need to consult your physician before adding any of these products into your diet or before doing something as extreme as a 40-day cleanse. All right. Make sure that you have your doctor's approval. Got to put that out there, because what may work for me may not work for you. And I certainly wouldn't want you to get your health into any kind of trouble trying to copy what I'm doing. How did I come across the information that I'm about to share with you? Well, through hours and hours of research. Honestly, I have done so much research over the last few months, because as you can see, I have had this rash that has broken out on my neck. It's actually a little better than what it was, but that's broken out. I'm having trouble with my eyes swelling. I talked about that on a previous video, and just getting really, really red, really dry, really flaky, and then swelling up really big. Couldn't figure out what was going on. I also was having trouble with my other end, ladies, if you know what I mean, with yeast infection and just some itching and some burning and all of that. And so I went to my doctor and I had them take a look. I actually went to two different doctors. I first started with a walk-in clinic to see if they might could help me to figure out what was going on with my eyes, because they were so swollen and so huge that day. Had them take a look at that, and then the other end as well. And after that, I followed up with a general practitioner to get her opinion on it too. Both of them told me that they thought that it looked like a fungal reaction. All right. Neither one of them mentioned the word yeast or candida, but they did mention the word fungal, which is what we know as candida and yeast overgrowth in the body. Here's the interesting thing. I had already been on this new health journey since May. I didn't end up going to the doctor until early September. So for all these months, I was trying to kind of deal with it on my own. You know how it is. We put off going to the doctor, don't want to spend the money and all that kind of stuff. But finally, I had to break down and go. So for several months, I had already been on a healthier eating plan, cutting out the sugars, the refined carbs, adding in a lot more of the healthy fruits and vegetables, and really just trying to get my body back in line. I had already lost up to that point about 42 pounds, I believe, whenever I went to see her. And things were going really well. And it's like my body just went into revolt and was extremely unhappy with me. It was like it was screaming, "Give me back the sugar." So at any rate, through doing all of my research and studies about what could be going on, I learned about this thing called a keto rash. Now, I am not doing keto, okay? You guys that have followed me in the health group, y'all know that. I'm not on a ketogenic diet or a keto diet, but it is ketogenic. Okay, keto is basically the process of burning excess fat. So when you start cutting off the sugars and all that stuff, even though I'm still eating more carbs than what a person on keto would eat, and even though I do allow myself to have treat days on the weekends where I will still have some of Kristen's delicious cookies or an ice cream or something like that, So I'm not fully keto. My body is in a state of ketosis, burning off the excess fat. And what I've come to learn is that in doing that, some people can develop skin rashes or reactions to your body cleansing and purging out the yeast and Candida overgrowth that's been in the gut, even the parasites. And as those things are dying off and as your body is trying to sweep those out and get those out of there, the die-off of these microorganisms cause a toxic reaction inside that can show up on the skin. And it can mimic things like a yeast infection and other things just through the process of the die-off. Now, here is what else I've learned, that it can take 6 months to a year to fully kill off Candida and yeast. And for some people, it even takes a little bit longer than that if they're trying to do it with diet instead of going the extreme route like what I have chosen to do. So it's not a quick process, but you got to keep this in mind, you guys. You didn't get this way by a quick process. It may feel like it, but you did it. This has come on by years of eating the wrong foods and not taking care of my body. Just like with you, if you're experiencing any of these things, it is because of years of treating your body poorly that has allowed the conditions to develop for things like Candida overgrowth. So you're not going to clear it up overnight. It is going to be a process of time. I started this the very last week of April, and it is now the beginning of October. So that's about 5.5 months-ish, somewhere in there that I've been on this process. So hopefully, I'll be one of the ones that can clear it in 6 months. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But you will have Candida or yeast in your body if you are overweight at all, because fat cells are going to mean that you're eating improperly most of the time and that you are having an internal environment for yeast to grow. If you have ever taken antibiotics, if you've ever taken metabolic steroids like prednisone, okay, or if you've taken birth control pills at any point in your life, these are the prime conditions to create yeast and Candida overgrowth. Now, I'm going to leave it to you to go do your own research on all of that because this video would be entirely too long. Bottom line is I had a lot of yeast and Candida in my body, so I have chosen to go the extreme route with 40 days to try to clear this out. And the only reason that I decided to do that was because I knew that the Lord told me to do that. He said it very clearly for me to do this for 40 days. So again, what may work for me may not work for you. This is a personal word from the Lord, and through my obedience, I know He's going to meet me there and He's going to do something inside my body. Just because I have obeyed Him, you need to consult your physician, spend time in prayer, and see what the Lord may be leading you to do. But I'm going to link down below a couple of videos that I watched. You guys know already, several years ago, I talked about Jordan Rubin. He is the author of The Maker's Diet, someone who was suffering severely with Crohn's disease and irritable bowel syndrome, and he healed himself through his diet, through the proper vitamins, and through the proper supplements. He also went through a bout of cancer, and he was able to heal his cancer and his grandmother's cancer using herbs and vitamins and minerals. So he is very well trusted. I trust him because I did his plan back in 2004 and had really gotten myself into great shape. Unfortunately, I didn't stick with it. This time I will. But what he outlined at all his advice and everything in his book totally worked for me. It absolutely worked for me. So this time around, I wanted to go and hear specifically what he had to say about Candida and yeast. So I'm going to link those videos for you down below. I will also link some videos for you for Dr. Mindy Pelz. I have been watching a lot of her videos here on YouTube concerning intermittent fasting and how fasting really helps to heal the body, because I've been doing this cleanse in conjunction with the intermittent fasting. All right. So all of that combination together is what I have been doing. I'll have all the channels linked for you down there and those videos. Go check them out. As I go through these products, I'm also going to have these products linked for you below where I purchased them. They are affiliate links through Amazon, most of them. Some of them are with Nature Sunshine, but This is not a sponsored video, but just for transparency, I will let you know if you click those links and you decide to order any of this, there will be a small commission that I will get from Amazon. You do not have to click these links and purchase through Amazon. You don't have to purchase any at all. All right. This is an information video because you guys have asked me what I'm doing, so I'm going to show you. So let's just get started. Basically, first and foremost, this is a fast. So for 40 days, I have chosen to eat no solid food. Now, this is not a true fast as far as a water only fast. Okay. You could go 40 days with eating nothing at all. Anytime you put anything into your body that has any kind of calories and that triggers an insulin response, you are no longer in a fasted state. Just so you know that. This is a fast in the fact that I am not eating food, but it's not just a water only fast. So I am still getting nutrients and vitamins and all the good collagen and protein and amino acids from bone broth. Okay, that is the main staple of what I am doing. And again, I'll have videos linked for you down below about exactly how good bone broth is for you guys. Do some research on your own. I'm not going to do all the work for you. Get out there and do the work on your own as far as looking up bone broth. I have a recipe over on our health channel on how I make mine. I'll have that linked for you as well so that you can go and see what recipe that I am using. But bone broth is good for so many things, you guys. There are certain amino acids and nutrients that you're going to get out of the marrow of those bones that's going to cook out into that broth. It makes it such a nice, succulent, satisfying, hearty drink. Whenever you drink it, it's just like old-fashioned chicken soup whenever you consume it and whenever you drink that in. Now, let me give you this little caveat. The link that I'm going to give you for my traditional bone broth is what you would want to do once you come off of the cleanse. For the purpose of this cleanse, I am leaving out the carrots and the celery from that recipe. Everything else in that recipe, I am doing exactly the same, but I am not cooking in the carrot juices or the celery juices with this because I wanted to leave out all of those sugars. All right. But once you come out of the cleanse, every single day that you want to drink your bone broth, you can make that full recipe. I have two 12-ounce cups of that bone broth a day. Now you can do up to 5 if you're doing a bone broth cleanse. I have opted because of the intermittent fasting schedule that I am only having 2 a day. Some days I only have 1. And quite honestly, on my intermittent fasting, there are days that I do a full 24 hours of none of this at all. There are days that I am doing a full 36 hours, okay? On one day a week, I'm doing full 24 hours. On another day a week, I'm going 36 hours without any of these nutrients at all, a full fast. But then on the other days, I'm fasting for 18 hours and then during my 6-hour window is whenever I'm doing these supplements. Okay, so those 2 glasses, 12 ounces each of the bone broth, it is really delicious and very, very satisfying. On top of that, one of the things that I found in all of my research was the power of Palo d'Arco tea. Oh my goodness, this tea is amazing. It is like a powerhouse, a nutrient that goes right into the gut and begins to kill off that candida and the yeast. Yeast and candida is going to crave sugars. If you have intense sugar craving, you probably have an overgrowth of yeast candida. This Palo d'Arco tea that is made from the Palo d'Arco tree, however they harvest that off of the bark of the trees and all that kind of stuff, it is powerful. It does attract the yeast and the candida to itself, but as the yeast and candida begin to feast on this, it will kill it off. Now, I have 2 cups of these a day, all right? 8-ounce cups. I steep my tea for 15 minutes. I let it cool for 15 minutes, and then I have to guzzle mine down because it's not very good. But I drink it really fast. Inside of my Palo d'Arco tea, I am using 1 tablespoon of pure, organic, virgin, cold-pressed coconut oil. Now, this particular oil I picked up at my Sam's warehouse. You probably can pick this up online. I'm not sure if Walmart carries an organic thing of this or your grocery store, but there's a lot of places that you can pick it up. Make sure it's organic. As a matter of fact, everything that I'm going to be telling you about today, organic is key, even organic chickens, okay? I am buying chickens with no hormones and no antibiotics. The word failed me there. Okay, so it needs to be organic, grass-fed, and all that kind of stuff. So organic coconut oil, 1 tablespoon into 8 ounces of the Palo d'Arco tea twice a day. That is what I am doing. Also, twice a day, I am having a little concoction of Manuka honey and cinnamon. All right, now, Manuka honey is also one of those things. This comes straight from New Zealand. I got mine on Amazon. Again, I'll have it linked for you down below. But this is harvested from bee pollen that these bees are raised on the farm, however they do. Is it a bee farm, bee hive, bee whatever? And they raise them around the Manuka trees. All right. This Manuka tree has the flowers on the Manuka tree has a certain thing in its pollen that is antibacterial. It will kill yeast. It will kill Candida, and it will begin to lessen your symptoms of allergies. So all this that was going on with my eyes that they told me was allergies up here, I am hoping that this honey is going to do the trick. You can also use this honey directly on your skin to help with acne and different things. Look it up. There's videos online that will show you how different people use it. I have been mixing mine 2 teaspoons twice a day. Okay, so that's a total of 4 teaspoons. I do 2 teaspoons right after I finish my Palo d'Arco tea in the morning, and then I'll do 2 teaspoons again after I finish my tea in the evening or right before I drink my tea. In those 2 teaspoons of the honey, I am mixing in 1 teaspoon of the cinnamon. So 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon. I put them in together. I mix it up into this little, I don't even know what you would call it, just this little mixture, and then I just eat it right like that plain, okay? It is such a satisfying treat, you guys, because it is so sweet and so bitter, and they go together. It's just like you put cinnamon sugar on your toast in the morning. It is so delicious, so delicious. And I have never really been a huge honey fan, but this is really good. I have to tell you, it really is. It has to be the Manuka honey though. Regular organic raw honey. It's going to have benefits to you, and it's going to help with allergies and that kind of stuff. But if you really want to target yeast and Candida, this is the best honey for that. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but like I said, you're not really using a whole lot a day. And the only reason that I'm doing the full 4 teaspoons right now is because I'm going so extreme for these 40 days. Once I get off of the 40 days and go into a slower continued die-off and then maintenance plan, I will just be able to have 1 to 2 teaspoons per day. So that's how that's going to work. Also, the vitamins and minerals that I have been taking. First of all, you guys have seen me post about the Element electrolytes. I have been drinking these in my water every day. It is so important, you guys, when you are fasting, even intermittent fasting, if you are going 12 to 18 hours a day with no food, your body is going to deplete itself of electrolytes. You've got to keep your electrolytes up. So I drink 1 packet, just 1, in 32 ounces of water, and I do that every single day. On the days that I've been going 24 to 36 hours of fasting, I have been adding in a 2nd packet to make sure that my electrolytes are staying up high, okay? But again, consult your doctor, make sure that they're okay with you doing that because it is sodium, potassium, and magnesium. So you're going to want to make sure that your levels are where you can have these. I'll have this link for you down below as well. I love the taste of these. They do have a little bit of flavor. They do have stevia in there, which is a natural sweetener. I have checked my blood glucose before drinking and after drinking. It is not affecting my glucose at all, so it does not break the fast, which is very good. All right, and then lastly, I'll show you the supplements that I have been taking Again, this is not sponsored, and a couple of these I've actually fixing a change around. I've had to make a reorder, and I've actually reordered a few that are a little bit different. Once those come in, I'll take some photos and post them for you in the health group over there. They're very similar products, but Jordan Rubin has since left Garden of Life. He had created Garden of Life, started that company, and since then he has left and created Ancient Nutrition. That's where he is now. And because I trust him so much, I wanted to get over to using his new products. So when those come in, I will show you the photo of how I've switched and what I'm doing. But for my multiple vitamin, for now, I have decided to stick with Garden of Life. It is the women's multivitamin, the raw one. You take one a day. I am taking one every single day. Remember now, your vitamins and minerals are going to break your fast. So I take this once I'm in my 6-hour eating window. On the days that I go 24 or 36 hours on my fast, I don't take these. Okay, I do nothing at all but water. But on the days that I'm doing my 16-8, I will do this during my 6-hour eating window. I'm going to double check the ingredients because Garden of Life has started adding in some potato starches into some of their capsules. And I want to make sure they're not doing that to the multivitamin. If they have started that with their multivitamin, then I'm going to switch over to Ancient Nutrition. I tried to do Ancient Nutrition, their multivitamin, during the summer. And I thought that's what was making this rash, but obviously that wasn't what was creating the rash. So I probably could switch back to that and be okay with it. The next supplement that I am taking is also by Garden of Life. Now, this is one that I am fixing to change because in their new batch of the fungal defense, they have begun adding in that potato starch. I don't want that in my cleanse. So I have switched. I've ordered a new yeast pill from Ancient Nutrition. For now, this fungal defense is what I am using, and it's still very good and it still works. And if you're not as sensitive to the potato starch as I am, this may be something that you want to do and you may want to use as well. I will also link the ones from Ancient Nutrition so that you can take a look and you can choose and decide. But this is a targeted, it's got oregano and I cannot pronounce all the names of the bacterias and the, what are they called? The, whenever it has like in the yogurt, what are those that are in yogurts? Like the acidophilus and all, what's that called? It's not bacteria, babe. What's it called? Like the acidophilus, bifidophilus. Well, none of us can remember what that's called. Hopefully you guys will remember. Anyway, it has all those components in here. And that is what the yeast feed on to die. Okay, the yeast has to die. And so that's what I'm taking specifically for that, along with these other things. Now, I have been taking this raw probiotic vaginal care, 50 billion guaranteed IUs, or however they measure these things, of the probiotics. But the combination of the probiotics in here was targeted for feminine care because I was having the yeast infections that were going along with that. I will not be reordering this one. This bottle is now empty. So I have reordered and I am taking an SBO probiotic from Ancient Nutrition. Okay, I'm going to take just a general probiotic that's good all over the body. Your probiotics are what is going to replace the yeast and Candida as it dies. So first you've got to kill the yeast, but then you've got to start flushing it out of the body. And the way that you're going to start releasing it and flushing it out of there is by getting in your probiotics. So that's what I will be switching to. But up until now, I've been taking that. And then also I have added in the turmeric. Okay, this is amazing. If you have joint pain, inflammation, all of that, you need to take some turmeric. I actually was recommended this by an orthopedic doctor whenever I went to him last year for some joint pain I was having in my knee. Bub had also been having some problems with one of his knee, and both of us had seen the orthopedist. 2 different orthopedists actually recommended the turmeric. So it's a really good thing, but it will help with inflammation because as the yeast and Candida is dying off, you're going to have inflammation. Hence the reason you have reactions to the die-off, all right? You need to make sure that you are getting one that has the pepper oil in it. I don't actually see that on the front of this bottle, but it's in there. Okay, if you get the turmeric that does not have the pepper, the black pepper is what helps your body to absorb that turmeric. Okay, so you need to make sure that it has that. You can also add the turmeric and the ginger right into your bone broth. I will be starting to do that. I haven't incorporated that yet, but I will be. So you can tweak your bone broth recipe. And the last thing that I have been adding in is the hydrated bentonite clay. This is a liquid clay. Now, you can also use charcoal. Jordan Rubin recommends the bentonite over that. So obviously I want to do what he was recommending. The clay is what is going to help. And once it gets inside of your gut, it's like a sticky kind of substance that's going to absorb in the dead yeast and candida as it's dying off. And that is what's going to flush it on out of your colon when you drink this clay. All right. So again, you could use the charcoal, but it's not quite as good of an option as if you do the bentonite. You maybe could do the bentonite in a powder. I'm not even sure if it comes in a powder, but through Nature's Sunshine, I was able to get it in a liquid, and it's 1 teaspoon a day is what their recommendation is on their bottle. So that's just what I have been doing, is the 1 teaspoon a day. So that is what I have been adding in to do this 40-day cleanse. Again, there are days I go 24 hours or 36 hours where I don't have anything at all except for my electrolytes in my water. Okay, these do not break a fast. All right, so that I have every single day, even on the 24 and 36 hours. The other supplements that I've showed you here, the bone broth, the little honey treat that I have, the Pau d'Arco tea, and my vitamins and supplements, all of that I do on the days that I have the 16 hours fasted, and then the 18 hours fasted, 6 hours eating. Okay, I'm not really eating. I'm not eating food, but all of that stuff does have calories, and it will break the fast. So anyway, hope that answered all of your questions. Again, I want to caution you, please check with your doctor. They can test to see if you even have a yeast or candida problem. They'll let you know if you have an overgrowth of that. You're always going to have a little bit of yeast in there. It is a bacteria that your body does need. It's just whenever it overgrows and gets out of control that you've got to get it back into control. And you don't have to go 40 days with no food. You can add all of these supplements into your diet. If you're cutting out sugar and processed carbs and all that kind of stuff, do some research on it. You'll find plenty of information that'll tell you how you can start killing off candida. It'll just be a little bit longer process. But since I had already been about 5 months into this when I started the cleanse, I wanted to go pretty radical, especially whenever I knew that the Lord was telling me to do this cleanse. I knew that he was going to bless it. So that's what I'm doing, you guys. That is what I'm doing. Talk to your doctor before you try it. I don't know. You could be allergic to bee honey. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out for sure if I'm allergic to coconut, because sometimes my rash seems to get a little redder after the coconut. So I don't know. I'm still trying to tweak and figure all that out myself. Coconut never bothered me in the past, so I don't think it's that, but I'm not sure. But at any rate, that's what I'm doing. Please join the health group over on Facebook if you would like to. I do try to post over there every day, every other day, and give you guys the beneficial information that I'm finding out to encourage you on your way, to show you things that I will be eating once I get back to eating. I showed you what I was eating before this, and just, to talk you through, because sometimes we just need that moral support when we're trying to do something so drastic. But Candida, it is a nasty little booger. It will cause you so many problems: heart palpitations, headaches, sleepless nights, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, but I do want to mention this before I let you go. The last thing that I want to tell you is, while I was doing the intermittent fasting to begin with, and I had started dropping all the weight, we were exercising, all that, I'm telling you guys, I was getting up every single night in the middle of the night, at least once, sometimes twice, to have to go to the bathroom, because I drink a gallon of water. I try to. Some days I only get in about three quarts, but I try to get in the whole gallon of water every day. And I was getting up to go to the bathroom. Since I have started my Element electrolytes, I don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom now. The whole reason that I was getting up was because my body was losing too much water by fasting. because my electrolytes were out of balance. I didn't have the right amount of electrolytes. The sodium is what helps your cells retain the water that it needs. Your cells need water, you guys. And so if your sodium's off and your potassium's off, it just throws everything out of whack. And I was using the bathroom way more than what I really should have been. Adding in something as simple as these electrolytes, you guys, I can't even believe it, but I can sleep through the night now and I'm still drinking the same amount of water plus 24 ounces of bone broth. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there. Again, this is not a sponsored video, but I will have all of these products listed for you down below so that you can easily find those. Should you be interested, if you want to do what I'm doing and your doctor says it's okay, then all that will be there for you. All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're on this journey with me, thank you so much. Thanks for being in the health group over there. We encourage each other and it helps keep me going as well. All right. I want to say best wishes to you as you're on this health journey. I know you can do it. You can get that body healthy. You can fight disease and you can ward off any future disease if you will just stick to it. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you were created for purpose. So get out there and be all you can be. I'll see you soon in the next video.